Hey film fans, I'm Jack Benner, and welcome to my review of Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is the third installment in the Toy Story series that came out in 2010 from Pixar. In Toy Story 3, Andy is all grown up and about to leave for college, but he doesn't play with his toys anymore. He has to make a decision of whether to leave them at home in the attic or donate them to a daycare center. After a misunderstanding happens, the toys end up at a daycare center where they meet other characters like Ken, Lotso, and many others. Now, I absolutely love the first two Toy Story movies. I think the first one is a revolutionary film in CGI animation, and the second one I think is even better than the first, funnier and more heartfelt. And I remember being really excited for this movie back in 2010, and I absolutely adored this movie when I first saw it in theaters. And does this movie still hold up 10 years later? Oh, do I feel old? Absolutely. Toy Story 3 was everything I was hoping for in a third installment of this franchise. First, the animation is still fantastic. 10 years later, Pixar never disappoints when it comes to their animation. Just so colorful, vibrant, detailed, and you can tell from this animation that it definitely came a long way since the animation in the first movie. A great voice cast on the top of their game, voicing these wonderful characters we know and love. Tom Hanks as Woody, Tim Allen and Buzz Lightyear, everyone else is great. And the new characters are just as great. I really like Michael Keane as the Ken doll. He had so many funny lines. And also, one of my favorite Pixar villains, definitely in the top 3, up there with Syndrome, Lotso. At first, when we first meet him, he does start out nice, and you wouldn't get the sense that he would be a villain. But halfway in the film, when he starts to become evil, and you get to see how horrible he is when he mistreats Woody's friends, along with his tragic backstory, and you knew where he was coming from. And this definitely shows why Lotso is one of Pixar's most memorable villains. This film does have its funny moments throughout, especially the moments with Spanish Buzz Lightyear. That had me cracking up. And what I also admired about Toy Story 3 is this wasn't afraid to get dramatic or intense. Just how much this film had the vibe of a prison movie and even an entertaining prison escape sequence. And this was definitely the most darkest and dramatic Toy Story film, and especially the furnace sequence. Oh, even when I saw it in theaters, just like, this movie sure did get intense. Just sure went there, Pixar. Definitely the most emotional film in the Toy Story franchise, just seeing Andy grow up, about to head off for college. And at the beginning of this film, we get to see Andy playing with his toys and seeing him grown up and doesn't play with his toys anymore and he thinks they're junk. It's pretty heartbreaking. And now let's talk about the ending of the film that made a lot of people cry. And I was one of them. This was definitely a tearjerker, and I've said this multiple times when talking about Pixar movies. No matter the beginning like Up or the ending of this movie, Pixar will find a way to make you cry. Before Andy heads off to college, just seeing his toys one last time and introducing them to Bonnie. Despite him about to being a college student, he still has that childlike sense in him. And the last toy he gives to Bonnie, Woody, and him describing how much Woody meant to him. And then the moment where he hands Woody to Bonnie. Oh, that brought a tear to my eyes. And him get to play with the toys one last time with Bonnie. And to top it all off, Woody's final line, "So long, partner." Why do you do this to me, Pixar? Just why? And as for issues, no, I don't have one issue with Toy Story 3. Overall, Toy Story 3 is a perfect third installment in the Toy Story franchise. Funny, gorgeously animated, and full of emotion. Although 9 years later we got Toy Story 4, which I still think is great, but if it ended here, I would have been perfectly satisfied. This is definitely my favorite third installment in an animated franchise, and this is also my second favorite Pixar film, number 1 being Up. So that's 2 back-to-back favorite Pixar movies between 2009 and 2010. And overall, I am going to give Toy Story 3, but bam, 5 out of 5 stars. This was my favorite film of 2010, and I'm very happy this was one of the Best Picture nominees in 2011, even with competition from The Social Network, The King's Speech, Inception, and many others. I can't believe that this movie is 10 years old, and I guarantee you this film will not only be a classic in animation, it will be a classic in cinema for years to come. So what do you guys think of Toy Story 3? Do you agree? Disagree with me? Let me know below. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new here. It really means a lot. I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.